Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. Welcome. I am coming to you at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, December 7th, and I'm not even cheating on the date and the time. How about that? I made it before midnight. So let me take a couple of minutes here. And, ooh, I got twine on my hand here. Ooh, let's get rid of that extra volume. Let me get my other devices set up so I can see when people join me live, and I will try to keep up on the comments. And let me get my other device set up here. All right, I think we are good to go. So, welcome. As you join, whether live or on the replay, let me know where you're joining from. I like to see where folks are coming from. We get people from all around the world, actually. It's pretty fun. When you do join in, feel free to chime in the conversation. Frequently, whatever project I'm making is a collaborative effort. Today, it might be a little bit different, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But first, let me get through a couple of announcements. I know people will start popping in once I've gone through some of this stuff. Some people have heard me say this over and over, so I'll try to make it quick. I have a new online store, new website, new online store. My content is the same, although hopefully it will be building as I have more time. And let me see if I can adjust this just a little bit. It looks crooked to me. But my new store is LateNightLori.stampinup.net. Hopefully you can see that better. It's easier to spell than LoriMacari.stampinup.net. Next new item is the catalog that releases in less than a month. January 6th, this beauty opens up for everybody. I cannot show you the inside of the catalog. I can only show you the cover. It goes live on January 6th, unless you can't wait. And if you want access early, you can join my team. Ask me how. I'd be happy to share. Stampin' Up! Is doing a virtual card retreat. They earlier this year did a virtual album retreat that included 12 two-page spreads for scrapbooking or memory keeping. They're going to be doing this virtual card retreat now. So the album retreat was 3 8-hour days. This card retreat is going to be 2 7-hour days. There will be 15 advanced level cards. This will not be for the faint of heart. There will be Stampin' Up! Folks leading this virtual class. There will be a private Facebook group, and you will have access to the recorded sessions on demand after the event. All right. So we will get the instructions, PDF file, cutting layouts, all of that will be provided by Stampin' Up! The cost for the kit is $165. And I said they'd give us the cutting instructions. If it's like the album retreat, everything's going to be cut and ready for us to go. So I may have misspoke on that. But if you would like to participate in this, you can order the retreat kit. There's no registration for the event itself because that's included in the cost of the kit. But that order number is 170023. You can get that at my store, which is LateNightLori.stampinup.net. Hey Juju, welcome. And I hope to have open studio time for my local folks that purchase this. If you haven't purchased it, unfortunately you won't be invited because you won't have access to anything afterwards. So, product of the month. Juju, you got yours, right? Macman may be fast asleep. I think he went up to bed about half an hour ago, actually. So this product of the month is a new item from Stampin' Up! It is kind of replacing Celebration that used to occur in January and February. With this new program, make sure that you have an online account. Make sure you have opted in for Stampin' Rewards so that you get money back on every purchase. I know, Juju, you mentioned that yesterday. I'm excited to see what you do with it, too. Mine should be here this week, maybe. because I placed an order like right away on the 2nd, I think, when it went live. Whatever day it went live is when I did my order. So maybe towards the end of this week, I'll get mine. But we did this card layout, I don't know, within the last week or so. I lose track of time. But you do have to have a $75 qualifying purchase. That's US dollars. That would also be before tax and shipping. Once you reach that threshold, then you opt to get this product of the month for $5. Okay? Questions on that? Shoot me a message. Cyber Monday is almost done. This is for prepaid paper pumpkin subscriptions. There's a sale. You'll automatically get the December kit. So if you're already a subscriber, make sure that you suspend your December kit unless you want multiples. It's almost done. Normally our subscription period ends on the 10th of the month because this is a special. They're ending the special on the 9th, not the 10th. So be aware of that. New kits drop this month. There's 2 of them every month. Usually I think it's the first quarter of the month. There's 3 kits. So that's all of my announcements for tonight. Let's get down to business. Everybody loved the swap cards that we created last night. We had our team get together. It was pretty fun. I got recognized for my title advancement, which actually happened this year, not last fiscal year, but it happened not that long ago, in October, actually. And I also got recognized for sales, so that was kind of fun from my upline. Nothing huge, but, you know, nice. And then what else? I showed off pictures of my glass blowing class with that pumpkin. People loved it. I did not take the pumpkin with because I didn't want to risk damaging it. So the set we're going to play with tonight, I did kind of give a little preview last night because I put these things kind of under the camera for everybody to see what I had thought about doing last night, but decided I needed to do my swap cards instead. So I'm tooling along and I'm kind of playing with what I had in my mind for how I wanted this to look. And I discovered that this bundle is retired. So it was an online exclusive that I just had to have because I loved it. I hadn't used it yet, so it was still in my active stuff. And I went to look it up. There's something up by my chickens. My camera just picked something up, so it's probably possum time. But anyway, I went to look this up just to, I don't even know why. Probably look to see if they had some samples in there to see if there was something else I could do like for a second card besides what was in my head. And that's when I discovered it's discontinued. So it's retired. So sorry. If somebody's really interested in this though, mine will be going up for sale. So if you're interested in purchasing that as a retired item, let me know. I cannot sell things like this when they're active, but once they're retired, I can go ahead and sell from my stash. So let's get down to business. This paper is active. So this is the Weekend Adventures. It comes with a sticker sheet, or I ordered the one that comes with the sticker sheet. I think you can order it without the sticker sheet too. But I thought this was pretty fun, and I intend on doing some memory keeping with this as well. I don't remember if I showed this, but with this one, there are only 3 patterns. I'm pretty sure I showed it. There are only, 6 patterns, and you get 4 sheets of each instead of 6 patterns or 6 two-sided sheets with 2 of each. All right, so there's the one side, and then here's the back sides. So these are itty bitty little acorns, and this is just a basic beige and early espresso stripe. And this I think is probably Misty Moonlight with kind of a splattered effect. That would be kind of cool for like stargazing if you're going to do memory keeping or something. So I'll be working on that in some other capacity. But for tonight, I'm going to go forward with the card that was in my head, just because you can use the layout for other things as well. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and set this stuff out of the way. And we are going to use Cajun Craze. See, when I get on a kick with Cajun Craze, I kind of use it for a few days. I think this is what, the third day now that we'll be using Cajun Craze. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25, and we're going to go ahead and burnish this. All right. And then I have a piece of early espresso, and I think I did this at 4.25. No, this is 4 by 5.25. And then I brought in a piece of that plaid designer series paper, and this is 3.75 by 5, because we're going to do a little layering here. So that's going to be like so. I have a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that in right now, just because I'm not really doing anything else special with that, because I'll leave the card blank inside for whatever little handwritten message I decide to put in there. You ordered that brushed in beauty paper too, didn't you, Juju, with the roses on it from the other night? I thought you told me you ordered that too. I think that was in the order that you got your product of the month, actually. All right, so there's the inside of that. Now, what I really liked about this was some of these dies. So this is like a berry design on there that makes a wreath. And there are other dies in here. Oh, there's these other circle dies that you can kind of make a wreath, that if you see, there's a tab here and there's a tab here. If you line up the tabs, it makes kind of like that berry design. So you've got a branch. It'll kind of look like this. All right. So then I imagine, let's just see, because I did not use, yes, so that would be able to go inside that framing. So this will end up cutting out that stamped wreath if you were going to do that. I haven't yet. But what I did like, what I bought it for really was for this bunch of trees here, because I just liked those on the round. And the sentiments are very nice too, but they're kind of small and not as bold as what I want for this card. Although I do kind of like that moon and the stars. I wonder if I could build that in somehow. I might do that on another card. So anyway, I'm using these dies, and I am using the dies to make trees. And then as far as stamps, because I did, hi Bon Bon. As far as stamps, I did, you can see this is colored. It's stained a little bit because I did stamp earlier because I wanted to kind of play with it a little bit. And I actually do have a finished card. There were some things on it that I want to modify, but I did work it through, and I still made it on before midnight. What do you know? So we're going to go ahead and use this. And then as far as the sentiment, I'm just making a basic card, but I'm using this 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar set, and I'm using the Big Thanks. Now, the Big Thanks is actually a single sentiment, but I did some stamp surgery and I cut them apart because I want them on top of each other. I did that back when we were doing the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar, so it was convenient because it was already cut. So we are going to do some die cutting. We're going to do a little stamping. Oh, and I also have a piece of Very Vanilla because that's going to work with these pieces a little bit. You might already be able to figure out what we're going to do. But let's put these back on the magnet so I don't lose them. And this little tree, now this is not one of the die sets that shows us the artwork, which I really like with the new packaging. But this little trio of trees I cut out on the early espresso, and I'm just going to glue that down to the bottom. And that's all I'm going to have on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and get that taken care of as well. So how was your Saturday, ladies? I've been doing all the talking. We did have a good lunch though. It was kind of like another Thanksgiving dinner because my upline's husband actually every year usually makes the main meat. So he's done like pork tenderloin in the past, which has always been good. But today he did turkey. All right. I just need to get a little bit more glue on here. I don't want this to fall off. But I'm trying to do it really light and my glue doesn't want to flow. But this is a brand new bottle. I got a little gift too from the party. Oh, we did a gift exchange, which was kind of funny too. I ended up, as luck would have it, getting a blown glass ornament made in Italy, which coincidentally is my husband's heritage. Italian. Go figure with Macari, right? All right, so that's the inside done. All right, so for the outside, what we're going to do is layer these. And on this top piece, we are going to die cut a hole in here, okay? Because I want just kind of a jagged edge on here. So let me bring in Bossy Bessie. And if you wouldn't mind, give me a little thumbs up before you leave. That would be appreciated. This we're going to use in a minute. So let's bring in Bossy Bessie. And we are just going to cut this one piece. So I'm going to make sure that the tab is going up. It's not going to be super obvious the way I have in mind to use this, but just for my own point of reference, I'm going to keep it going upright. All right, so let's just cut that there. And then this piece could be saved and used for something else. All right, whether you keep the die cut edge or not, that's still a nice piece to hang on to, right? And then I'm going to switch dies because now I want a smaller die, because when I layer these, do I need to zoom in at all, ladies? When I put this one down, and let's just push this back so it's right on my platform so I don't have to shift it around. I'm going to put this one so that tab also is going to the top center. And that should be pretty good. So I'm just going to take this off. And put that through. And again, this is a piece that can be saved. And then I am going to, actually, I'm going to use this piece to get out these trees. We may as well utilize that scrap right now, and then I don't have to find another one. Now, I already cut a piece of that irregular weave. I might not have mentioned, we're going to use some of this irregular weave trim. Juju, I know you've got some. Have you used yours yet? Because we're going to tie a knot, and it works fine for a knot. Not so much for a bow, but for a knot it works pretty good. I think I'm done with this for now. It is really cool ribbon. Can be used in a lot of different ways. So I had considered, and I actually played with it. Now, I don't remember what I did with that piece. But I used this as like a mask and used ink blending. Oh, you even ordered some more? No kidding. Oh, you used it tonight. I'll have to go back and do the replay. I didn't pop in at all before mine. I took a nap again today. It felt good. I think I could get used to a nap every day. I had some pieces where I did the ink blending and I don't remember where I put them. Not that it really matters. I can tell you what happened. I did not like it with ink blending because this section here is so open. I know they're good. I felt good after it. This section is so open, it just looked too abstract for me. And I suppose in the right, like if I had done the right color, maybe a crumb cake or a light gray, and then if I use the stamp to stamp over, it might work, but this die does not match that stamp. So it just didn't work with how I had it in my head. So I ended up not using the ink blending today. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these dies away just because we're done with them. So we'll do that. Now there are some other fun elements in here and I played with those as well. I really liked, I like these pine bough pieces here and the die is such that you get 2 out of there, which is nice. And because they're opposites. So, you know, if you were doing like a wreath, you could have your pine going in opposite directions. So that's kind of fun. But what I used was, this is oak leaves in here. I think you can see that. And you get 2 oak leaves going in opposite directions as well. So I played with those and I really, really like them. They're just very pretty. Very realistic-ish. See how pretty that is? And what I did was I die cut these first, this set, and then I did some ink blending over it. So this is pretty in pink. And I ink blended with Cajun Craze over it to get kind of that variegated look. So this I blended after I cut them. So you can see how it's darker maybe around the edges where the cuts are. And then this one I blended before I did the die cut. And I like this one too because there's some variance in the color, probably more on this one. And these would probably make better masks, but you can kind of see, maybe you can see, where there's just darker and lighter. So sometimes it does make a difference when you ink blend before you die cut or after you die cut on how the edges will pick up the color. And then I also did some ink blending with Cajun Craze, crushed curry and some old olive. And then I spritzed it with water. And I thought, well, that would be really fun for like the pine boughs maybe. But once I got my mock-up done, the pine boughs just didn't seem like they fit into the whole look. So I'm gonna save these for another card. Just probably not tonight. So let me put these back in here. So just kind of some ideas for ink blending if you do ink blending. I know you gals with the journaling do blending it because I've seen you do it. All right, so let's continue with this little bit here. Oh, I can put this away so we don't lose them. Hello, Tanya. All right, so we'll put that away too. And then I'm also using, for the embellishment, these streaked dots. Yeah, streaked dots. And these are bulkier. They're pretty thick. I don't know if you can, they're pretty thick. So if you put them in an envelope, you want to make sure that you've got some kind of either put it in a padded envelope or make sure that you're putting something in there to keep these from popping through your envelope. We'll get to those in a minute. So now we're going to do this. And I'm going to bring in my Pearson mat. And I'm going to put this down here. And then I'm going to put this over here because this is the smaller wreath hole that I made. No, yes. This is a smaller piece of paper, but this has the bigger opening because I wanted to see border around the DSP, both on the outside and on the inside. So I am going to use this to stamp my tree image. All right. So that's going to just give me an idea of where my trees need to be. And what I did with my mock-up one is I very lightly came in here and I did a pencil line just so I can see where my trees have to go. And I don't really have to go all the way around, but I wanted to be able to put my trees so that they would not be inside this circle. I don't want to be able to see the edge of my trees. I want them to be over the edge. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp those on the line. And then if any of the line shows, I'll just take my eraser. Now you can see here where I got some ink on my block. Don't rock your blocks because then you'll get that extra ink on and you will have to redo it. So if I'm careful, that blotch of ink makes no issue for me on a good day. All right, so let's go ahead and clean this off right away. And I think that's the only thing I'm gonna do with the early espresso ink, because now for the sentiment, I'm gonna put that on after I put this other layer together because I don't want it to shift at all with my placement. All right, so this is gonna go in here. And again, you might not be able to see it. Let me zoom in a little bit because that might help. And in fact, let me shift a little bit too. See how that goes. You might be able to see that pencil line. I'm going to get rid of that along there just so it doesn't show at all on my finished card. And I did it very light so it comes off really good. And I'm just going to get rid of that little bit that's showing through my image here. All right, nobody will ever know I have pencil on there, except you. All right, so I'm gonna just put some seal around this edge because I have enough space here that when I lay this on, I know if I have seal around the edge of here that it's not gonna get, it's not gonna show through at all. So I'm just gonna make sure I'm going pretty close to the edge. That one got a little further in. Hopefully it doesn't show. All right. I think we should be good. And then this, so long as none of the edges are showing around here, it doesn't really matter where I place it, but it's still pretty centered. All right, so there's that. So now I'm going to go ahead and put big thanks on here. And because we're using the Cajun craze there, I'm going to put my words in Cajun craze also. And again, this sentiment is typically one piece If you order that 12 Days of Advent crafting collection, your sentiment is going to be all one piece, and I just did a little stamp surgery and cut them apart. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put this right like so. Now, I just thought of something that I wanted to do different. Let's see if I can get this apart, because it hasn't been on here super long. I want to have this flat on my card, because the early espresso piece I want on dimensionals. So I'm just going to carefully pull this apart. Try not to bend any of my papers. If I would have let it set longer, this would be near impossible to get apart without using like my heat gun. There. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some embossing buddy on here and get rid of that stickum a little bit. That was an oops. I could always redo that, I suppose. I think I have another piece somewhere. Maybe I should just redo that. That wouldn't take that long to redo. That'll work. All right, so let's try this again. Let's get rid of this powder. All right, we'll do the trees one more time. It's only paper, right? And I could cut this down and use it for another card. I'll put it with my oak branches there. All right, so trees. Let's do trees again. And let's do a little line again. I'm just going to kind of do the highlights, I guess. We'll try to do this again. Oh, and I should have gotten my piercing mat in here. Hopefully I'll get a good image. That works for me. All right, so let's erase that pencil line again. Sorry for the repeat performance here. All right, and then let's do the sentiment one more time. Oh well, it happens, right? Now this has a little bit of tacky on it, so I don't want to press it down too hard. I just want it as my template where I need my words to go in. We're just going to do right there. All right, now let's get rid of this ink one more time. Let's wash these stamps one more time. We have a small group tonight. Everybody's pretty quiet. Back to work for folks tomorrow, right? Sorry. Right, I was just making sure everybody would know how to do it. You're right. All right, so this now we're going to go ahead and put on our base. So if I put this here, this will have to move over a little bit. I just kind of want to eyeball where it's going to have to go with this centered. All right. So I'm just going to make some pencil marks here, and that'll help me. And I'm just going to put some glue on here. Well, at least you didn't all fall asleep already. Susan's not here, so I can't use my calm, soothing voice to put her to sleep. I think she was the one that was talking yesterday, or the day before rather, about my soothing voice because she had had a stressful day. All right. So now this one we're going to put up on dimensionals. But before I do that, because I want this on dimensionals also, I'm going to attach this one first to this layer. And I'll explain why in a minute. Whoops. Let's move that a little bit further away. That'll work. And I think I'm going to cut one of these in half. Because I don't want it to collapse onto our circle. And maybe I'll cut another one just for good measure on the other side. It doesn't want to let go. I'm just going to put that up there a little bit. There. All right. Oh, I don't want that side. I want the pokey side. So I like the dark dimensionals, the black dimensionals, because when you take the backing paper off, you can see for sure that it's gone. Who's got to take your pick tool? Who's using it? It's probably my all-time favorite tool. All right. I got a little crooked. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is get my ribbon behind here, so that when we put it on our card, I don't have to fight with getting the ribbon on there. All right, so I want this around here ahead of time. I'm not going to tie it just yet because I still need to put these trees on. And I see there's a little piece in here that didn't pop out. There we go. All right, so let's put more dimensionals on the back of here, and I'm just going to kind of avoid where that open weave ribbon is sitting. And I do still want to put around here so that it doesn't collapse. And we could probably do this to kind of hold it in place. All right. So when I took my swap cards today, one of the gals, when we were passing them out, she looked at it and she says, "Oh, I was hoping I would get one of these." So I don't know if she watched this or if she saw the set and just hadn't gotten it yet. But either way, they were happy. They liked it. They liked the card. All right. So let's get this open weave ribbon just opened up and kind of out of the way. And then we're going to add these die cut trees down here for just a little extra dimension. So just these 4 tips, I don't want any glue on, so I can put glue all around here. And I considered putting some of this multi-purpose liquid glue on this earlier, but I didn't have another one cut right then. I thought, no, I'm just going to leave it. And I'm just going to kind of put it on the outer edge of this furthest to the left tree. Because if I would have put my glue on ahead of time and then let it set, it kind of becomes that repositionable sticker that we've talked about before. All right, and I'm just going to let these tree tips fly. And now I can tie my knot. Why not? All right. Is that going to go up or is that going to go down? I think I need to go this way. I think that's what I need, because I want the tails to go downward. There we go. And I'm going to give that a nice tug there. And I think we'll cut it that way and that way. And then we're down to our embellishments, but I think I'm going to put a glue dot behind there. Kind of roll it up a little bit. So because I've got the 2 layers of dimensionals, it may be right on the edge of whether it's too thick to go through the postal service here. And I was just looking at the edges. This is a white core paper. Please do not say you threw that ribbon away. Do I need to mail it to you? With your chipboard that I have in a pile to come to you? I can mail that to you if you want it, but I'm not going to say where it went. This paper is white core. So before, when I had cut it down, I actually tapped the edge into my ink pad so that I wouldn't have to see the white core, but I also see that I didn't do 2 of the edges because I was going to do them. All right. I won't pull it out of where I didn't admit it was. Do you want this piece too, this sheer ribbon? Because I kind of like have a little recycled in here. It's dark in here though. Oh, there it is. You want that little one too? You don't want that one, do you? That's itty bitty. What about twine? You want twine? You want blue? Ah. All right. I think those are all the goodies in there. I think that's all the goodies in there. I can feel the eyes rolling. I can almost hear them. All right, this is going in the juju. This one too, this little piece. I'm happy to do it, but I'm just going to send it. Then it's on you. The garbage will be on your hands if you decide to throw it away. All right, it's going in the juju stack. All right, it's in the Juju stack. All right, so let's get to the embellishments. Ooh, I'll try never to do that again. I'll just push it off to the side so you don't know. All right. We are going to just put 3 of these on here. And because this is already stacked up 2 layers, I'm going to put my embellishments on the inside. Because this is almost like a little shadow box. Whoops, I dropped. That's a cluster. You are exactly right. I stand ridiculed, shamed, and corrected. Yeah, better you don't know. All right. So I put these on there because it's already lifted up. I'm still going to put a liner in here when I put in my envelope to send it off, just because I still don't want those to go through the postal machines and put holes anywhere, or worse, sometimes the machines kind of like suck these right off our cards. I have received cards where the embellishments are gone. All right. So we might need to do some Winka Stella maybe. And I apologize that this set is like no longer available, but like I said, you know, it'll be up for sale now because it's retired. I might make a couple of more cards with it before I put in my clearance corner. So I'm just gonna put shimmer on these trees. Because I can. All right, maybe tomorrow I will do a memory keeping layout using this paper and that sticker sheet. I should probably use it before it retires. I don't want that to happen. I didn't see it on the last chance list, so I should be all right, but... And technically it is still fall. This is like a fall look to me. We don't have winter for 2 more weeks. Technically, even though we're in single-digit temperatures here, and we got another 4+ inches of snow overnight yesterday. So MacMan was out clearing the driveway so I could get to my team meeting today. There. I like that. And then for good measure, we're just gonna flick a little bit on here too. All right, that's it. So last night we did 12 cards in an hour and 6 minutes, was it? Sorry, I'm getting near the bottom of my cup here. I had chai tea in here and I forgot it was chai tea. I went sipping it thinking it was going to be water, and it was chai tea, and I'm like, oh, that's really good water. So last night 12 cards in a little over an hour. Tonight 1 card in a little less than an hour. But oh, do you like my mug too? My travel mug? Stampin' Up! Doesn't have these anymore. I love them. All right, so I think that's all I have for tonight. Oh, and here's the one that I mocked up, so pretty close. So you can see I did actually play with one ahead of time. And I don't know if you can see the variance in the color on these, but this paper is, I don't know, it's almost like ink blending on it, that it moves around a little bit. You know, the color is darker in some places and lighter in others, so... I decided not to use these pieces on this card only because pine trees don't have oak leaves. And I didn't think about that until after I had already done my cutting on this. So, like, we would make clusters like this kind of. So maybe I'll add that with, if I do the memory keeping pages tomorrow, we'll do something similar. Sound like a plan? And then of course these I'll have to cut out because I like where I splattered the water on there and it lifts the ink off the paper. That's a technique I really like. So I will try to use these maybe tomorrow. Unless somebody else has a different idea for something they want to see. Any requests? Thank you. I'm glad you like the card. And I know you're not that into cards, Juju, so it makes me feel good when you think it's a cool card. So fussy cussing. Okay, we'll think about that. Look at how cool those look all clustered together, all four of those pieces. I like that. Because some are lighter and some are darker. All right, I'll try to incorporate some fussy cutting tomorrow. I'll add it to my list. Where's my... So I don't forget. Oh, that's kind of dry. Fussy cussing. All right, let's see. Maybe the blue will work better. Oh, yeah. That way I won't forget. All right. There we go. I love fussy cussing. Yeah, I've seen you fussy cut once. I think I've seen it once. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me tonight, ladies. I know there wasn't a whole lot of interaction because I wasn't asking for suggestions. I already had kind of in mind what we were going to do since I played with it ahead of time. Because I wanted to kind of play with the layers and everything. So the one thing with this card, I don't know, you can probably see it if you look close. But my open weave ribbon, I forgot to put it on and I had everything attached. So I was trying to feed it through here so I can actually see it here behind my other layers. So I'm going to have to push that down a little bit and get it tacked where you can't see it. So you did it twice tonight. All right, well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch your replay on that one. And I'm just going to verify that you actually did. So until, I don't know, about 23 hours from now, happy crafting. Have a good day if you have to go to work. Accept my condolences. And until next time, happy crafting.